Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Hope and Healing Cafe. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are pleased, or I'm pleased, to be able to have as a guest today Dr. Cherice Dykes. And I'm going to let her say hello in a minute, but I just wanted to preface a bit about our discussion because I think as we're filming this video, we're in the middle of, COVID-19, the coronavirus, and it has changed so many things for all of us. So many of us, and we're in the U.S., are isolated at home, can't go out too much except for essentials, maybe to the store. Only essential employees are working. We're all encouraged to do social distancing and to stay at home. And for many folks, they've either lost their jobs or they're now working from home, and that's an additional change. Children are not in school, and parents are now homeschoolers. So there are just so many changes that have taken place. But Cherice did a workshop for Hope and Healing Homes not too long ago, which was about the Family Vision Board. And it was a really wonderful workshop where families came together, had an opportunity to think about their future, what their family looks like. So I'm just going to turn it over to Cherice and ask you to just introduce yourself and then give us a little bit more about your background and why this is important to you. And then we'll jump into some how we can make a vision board piece.
Oh yeah, definitely. So again, the workshop I did for Hope and Healing Homes was absolutely amazing. We did a workshop out at the library, and it was on vision board making. Just to give you a little bit about myself, I have over 15 years of HR experience, and I currently do work in human resources consultancy as well as business coaching and wellness coaching. So a part of that, as it all kind of comes together and meets together, it's around, work on your mind, body, and spirit. What can you do to kind of make a better you and make you better today? Because
Right.
the goal is to do it now.
That's right.
So we have vision boards that we have created, and as you know, your vision is very, very important. Your ability to seek as well as hear. It comes from the things that you are able to kind of think of that you need for your family and that you need for your life and for all those things that are that kind of align with your purpose.
So now when you're talking about a vision board, I'm thinking to myself, okay, so some people might either miss the beginning of their video or jump into this video and hear you talking about, vision. And I have a sister who's an optometrist. And so whenever we're talking about vision, she's usually talking about the glasses and thinking just about your eyes from that perspective. And we are talking about what you see, but when we start to talk about having a vision for our lives, right, for our bigger purpose, we're talking about being able to see where you want to go in the future. It's a different kind of thing. And so when I think about what my sister does, if you go to the optometrist, you sit there, you have the machine that comes down in front of your eyes and it's chuching, 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 the lenses, go in front of you. And then when you finally get the right combination, then you're able to see clearly. But before, especially if you have eyes like mine, you probably didn't see that clearly at all. So there are things that are happening now in this world which are clouding our vision, right? Making our vision not clear. So just stress, losing a job is stressful, can make you not see clearly for yourself or for your family. Not knowing where money will come from in your family can be, very challenging and will make you not see clearly. Having all of your family together in a space, although you love your family, after a period of time, that can be challenging. And particularly because in some cases, then we're not even really allowed to go out as much as we'd like to. So you might be able to go just out a little bit, but you can't really spend all your time at the park because there are too many people there. And we're supposed to be social distancing. So being cut off from work, and even though you go to work, it's in some ways it's a relief from home. It's different from home. It's a different location from home. Some people now have everything all in one space, and they're having to navigate that. That changes your vision. So as we think about families now, I just know, I feel like this is an ideal time for families to think about what is our vision for our family. Yeah. What do we see as a future for our family? And it's not just about, you know, pasting pretty pictures on a wall. It's about really thinking about who are you as a family. You know, what do you want to achieve and accomplish as a family? And then how do we get to go in that direction? And I think what's so great about the vision board is it is visual, and it keeps that vision, that goal in front of you all the time. And the more you see it, the more you begin to progress towards it. So talk us through, like, what does the word vision mean? What does it mean to you?
So, as you kind of discussed already, you kind of went into it already about our vision and the fact that that's what you see spiritually is kind of like, what are your goals? What are you looking to do in your upcoming future? What do you see? You know? And in order to even activate that type of vision, you have to be in a still place where you are calm and you are quiet to be able to hear those things. You know, give yourself some time, and like you stated, you know, during this time, you have more than enough time to kind of find some time to be able to isolate yourself a little bit, give yourself a little me time, you know, and take that time out to kind of see what are those things that you want for yourself, and not only for yourself, for your family, you know. And you have all these supplies around the house, you know. I know that you must have some because I know I have some old magazines, old papers, old posters, cardboard,
pictures, old cards.
You can use anything that you can kind of find around the house will be good for a project like this. And not only for yourself, for your children, for your spouses, for whoever, you know, is kind of around your doing social distancing with you. You know, it'll be a good idea to kind of tap into them that way.
So how do we start this? I would say, what would be step one? So step one, you said, is to kind of quiet yourself and be able to kind of look into yourself and see what comes up for you in terms of what you want for yourself, for your future, for your purpose, in terms of that bigger vision. So because there are many families all together now, how would you suggest we do that? Do you just turn on some kind of relaxing music, everybody closes their eyes for 30 seconds and just kind of settles themselves? What would be an activity that you would suggest to kind of get us to that place? Or maybe a couple of questions you could pose that would help us to think in that space.
So I would definitely suggest thinking about what may work best for your family. For me, I know you mentioned, you know, kind of doing the music to kind of set the tone a bit. For me, I find it helpful to go quiet, you know, without the noise. I think when you're in a quiet, still space, you're able to kind of tap into those things and tap in spiritually to kind of hear from God and hear what it is that you're actually looking at. So in order to be able to do that, you want to be able to, like I said, number one, kind of determine if this is going to be a project that you want to do for yourself or for you and your family. So that would be the first step, is kind of identify, you know, who's your audience or who all will be participating in this session. And then, of course, the second thing, of course, is creating what that next environment looks like. As I stated, the quiet, still space, that's the best place to kind of be effective in kind of tapping into what your vision may be. Taking that time and quietness to kind of see where and what are those things that matter most to you and your family. And then from there, you know, now I'm a very, very visual person, and I think it really, really helps looking through the magazines and looking through all different pictures, whether it be your own personal pictures as well, family photos, and just looking through and seeing, you know, what are some of those things that you see that kind of correlate and relate to the things that you want in your life and for your family.
So give me an idea. If this were your family, or maybe a family that you've worked with, and you asked them to put together this kind of vision board as in a picture format, what are some of the things that could help us start to think about when you say a vision, what does that look like?
So, okay, so I've seen, and I'll go back to even our workshop, our most previous workshop. A lot of the vision boards that were done were around some of their goals that they had already set. We found one of the participants in the program, they had, pictures of different places that they wanted to travel. And even though they weren't, may have not been the specific place they wanted to travel, but it was a representation, something, a placeholder that kind of describes or kind of sits in a space to kind of show you, and represent where or what, your goal is.
Right.
So you have, maybe a picture of the beach because you're, thinking about, going out to the Bahamas or whatever. Or maybe you have a picture of just the rain because you're looking to be married. Maybe you have a picture of just you and your children because, it can be kind of quirky, kind of finding different pictures in your magazines. So just something that when you look at, that it's a good representation of what your goal is.
And I know we had, you brought us a range of different magazines they give away magazines at Stop and Shop with recipes in them. There's the ones you get in the mail. There are, I think we had Architectural Digest, travel magazines, cooking magazines, and you probably have all of these things already at home. So do some homework, pull together all of those old magazines, things you have all over the house. And I love that you said maybe even some family pictures too, because sometimes, maybe there was a vacation that you went on as a family, and that's a reminder of something that you want to get back to as part of the vision. That could be on your board as well. I also noticed that some people used words. It's not just pictures.
Yes. So the words, of course, are very, very helpful. And again, get very, very creative, go all out because you can find like little, words within the magazine.
Absolutely.
Or, we have markers, where you can go in and kind of write them in yourself if you'd like to. So there's the opportunity to kind of, like I said, get really creative. And you can even go 3D. I've seen, I've done one before where we put, macaronis and different pastas stuff on the vision board. So you can get very creative in your home. Use those beans, use that macaroni, and let the kids have fun with it.
Make something creative.
Make something really nice of it.
And I think too that, nowadays everybody is online on computers and things like that. It is possible to do your vision board online. But for me personally, I feel as though when you put your hands on something to make it, it makes a difference. So the idea is just to kind of go through magazines, see what inspires you or speaks to you, rip those out, cut those out, however you want to, and paste all of those together and come up with a collage of your vision.
I've also seen like single standing pictures.
Yeah, it can be whatever you need.
There's no right or wrong way to really do it. There, you just sit down and you're in your own space, in your own creative zone to kind of develop and determine what are those things that mean most to you.
Right.
So, what I like most about this exercise is that, like, it's for everybody, and not only is it for everybody, when you do this with your family, you're able to kind of see what are those things that really matter to your family. Because most times you don't even know what's in your kid's mind and what your children are thinking of and what their vision may be for the family as opposed to what you think your vision is. So I think a lot of that too is being able to get on the same page. Whether you do it all together is one vision board, or if you do separate individual vision boards and then kind of come together and then see, what
talk about it. Talk about everybody's viewpoints. I think that's very helpful. So are there any last minute tips you would give us as we're thinking about, taking half hour or an hour and doing a vision board with our family?
Oh yeah. So, as you're doing your vision board with your family, really, really take the time to be still, be calm and quiet, and really listen and tune into what God is saying to you. it is a very, very important piece of your development and the development for your family and how you guys kind of grow and grow together. Um, I think, you know, taking that time out goes a long, long way. You know, it also it's beneficial for your children. It's beneficial to your spouse, to everybody, so that they kind of understand or see the things that matter to you and know what matters to your family. I think your family is your first ministry, and the first place that you should, you know, foundationally be stable at is at home. So if you're able to kind of bring those things together and be able to discuss those things within your family and create an actual visual tool that you'll have, you know, from here on to forever or however long you decide to keep it, you know, you'll have something tangible to kind of hold. Another thing we talked about was that it doesn't have to be a poster. I do want to have this.
But
doesn't have to be a poster, doesn't have to be, you know, this big, large, you know, collage that you're creating. It can be a regular 8.5 by 11.
Yeah,
You know?
and I've had a couple. I've had over the years we've done this. I've done this exercise in different places. I'm hoping this is not too shiny for the screen. I think that is pretty good. But I know I had a business coach, and part of that program was thinking for ourselves as we're developing a business idea, what would that look like? And we did it just on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper, and it was able to go into a binder, as you can see. And then when I was in your class, I did another one. And you see I have my initials up there and some ideas around travel. The roller skates are funky and fun. And it was to remind me to put some fun in my life. It's not all about work. It's okay to be quirky and crazy and a little offbeat, because that's me. And that's who I am. And so then you see over here, I have the peace, the water. I love being by the water. Even when we go camping, I love being by the water. So this is just a symbol of peace for me. That giant size diamond ring. I don't know that I would wear one that size, but I love glitter. So for me, it's a representation of anything sparkly. I'm into sparkles. And then you see here for travel, I put Rome. I've got Paris up there. I've already been to France a million times, but this will be part of what I love. And what's down here in the corner? I can't see it too good. Oh, it says time for spirit, time for harmony. And it's really a glass of green tea. So again, it's kind of a reminder for me to take time for myself and refresh my own spirit. And that's just how I use just a short, small piece of vision board. But it can be anything that you want it to be. But I keep this beside my desk. So every day when I go to look towards my printer, I have the visual in terms of what I'm creating, but also an atmosphere that I'm creating in myself. Like peace and harmony is everything to me. So I make sure that I keep that atmosphere in my home, but I'm always keeping it on top of mine as well.
Oh yeah. And the biggest takeaway is to keep this vision in front of you.
Yes.
You know, your eyesight is very, very important, especially as you look ahead of you and see what's going on in front of you. These vision boards can be done, like workshops can be done for businesses, for churches, for homes. So it's not only at your, you know, just for your family. This exercise can be done anywhere, you know, and like I said, it's important that you have that type of vision for everything that you're doing, wherever you are.
You just reminded me when you said about keeping it in your sight, because, you know, if you have too much light that comes into your eyes, you can't see very well and you have to wear dark glasses, right? Nowadays, with the news, the way that the news is, every other minute we're being bombarded with information, the statistics of people who are dying, who's getting the most cases of COVID-19, and it's bombarding us day in and day out. If that is what you keep in front of you all the time, that will not be good for you.
It's a good, all right. It's a good old concept. Garbage in, garbage out.
Right, right. So if that's what you keep in front of you, it's no wonder that we constantly stay in a place of stress and fear and worry and frustration. And so having something like a vision board, and even it could be a tiny one, it can be a big one, it can be whatever you want, but keeping it somewhere where you can see it it changes your focus, right? And changes how you see things. And it changes the way you're thinking about your future. I think that's the biggest thing. We're right now not feeling good about the future, but this is a way to think about, what can my future look like? What can I look forward to? It gives you hope.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And that's what a vision board does for you.
Oh, yeah. And that's the thing, you know, I mean, part of my work too is in mindfulness and wellness, of course, as it pertains to just you being able to kind of center in and focus on the things that are in front of you and here in the present, taking that time to be mindful of all of the things that are going on around you. And this exercise is a very, very good exercise to kind of hone those things out.
Yeah. Wow. Excellent. Well, thank you very much for spending time at the Hope and Healing Family Cafe today, Cherice. And I'm hoping that you try your vision board. Now, if you try a vision board for yourself or with your family, do us a favor and give us a note below. And if you watch the video, please like the video, subscribe to our videos. We are building our YouTube channel, but we're glad that you joined us. All right. Enjoy. Take care.